Good morning, Shemi. How are you this Sunday morning?
Good morning, Heidi. I'm great. Thank you very much.
That's so good. What are you doing today?
Um, I think like most business owners, I'm doing marketing today.
Lovely.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that is so good.
yeah. That's
Yeah, that's
really
nice.
good. Yeah.
Shemi, I have known you for about maybe 3 years now. Are we up to the 3 years mark?
Oh, not yet. Not far. Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah, not too far, about a
Yeah.
month away from 3 years. Yeah.
I think in
Um,
October it's gonna be 3 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah, that's right. That's right. Yes, yes, October. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was I thought it was July because yeah, I remember now why. Yeah. Anyway, tell me, Shemi, all the time that I have known you
Yeah,
for the past 2.5 years,
yeah,
you have been showing so much passion and so much, you talk so much with so much love and energy about engineering.
yeah, yeah.
That is so much to like for me. I'm an engineer too,
Mm.
and like something that about me, I don't love it that much like you do. Is it something that you had in you since childhood?
To be honest, not really. I think it
Okay.
was more of a um, it's almost like expectation. It's like the people around me had expectations for me, and there was an
Yeah.
expectation to study something to have a good job.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, that's kind of how I passively became engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Um,
right. So
yeah.
maybe tell me about your childhood. Tell me about where did you grow up and where did you do school? When did you come to Australia? Because I know that you came to Australia as an adult. So
Yeah.
give me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So I was born and raised in Israel. Um,
Okay.
yeah, in Jerusalem, and um, I was living in a cool little village that we had lots of nature, lots of out time, outside time. It's like I think any 80s kid. Um, going to school and coming home from school with the key around my neck, and parents are working, and yeah, just hanging with my brother, and um, yeah, it's kind of really cool. The primary school, and when I moved to high school, it was really big change because high school we didn't have high school in the village. We had to go to the city, and like first time that I'm actually commuting rather than walking to school, and catching the
Yeah.
bus, a big change, and meeting people that I didn't grow up with, like in the village. It was like the kids you went to year one with, that's the ones you graduated year eight with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so actually meeting lots of new people was really awesome. Um, really good experience, and um, yeah, and then when I finish, I guess probably year 10, they start allocated like subjects. So yeah, how do you call it? You can choose your subjects at high school. And
Yes.
I went to this like technology based route or courses, um, and uh, I end up doing like automation and control subjects, and that took me to first 2 years of uni, um, which I got like a practical engineer certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool 2 years because I had to postpone the military service for 2 years. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so in Israel, military service is compulsory. They call it compulsory volunteering. By law,
Compulsory working.
yeah, by law you have to go to the to the army. By law you have to volunteer.
Okay.
They call it volunteer. That means they don't have to pay you full pay. They just pay you like pocket money, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Anyway, it's a good melting pot for the society. But anyway, I done two years of uni and then got my certificate and went to the Navy, spent 3 years compulsory in the Navy, and then another 2.5, 3 years as a career man. So I was like front line on the missile ships. They call corvettes. So it was really interesting career there. And then I realized one day we were like cruising, and then I realized, what are you doing? It's like you're going nowhere. Like you can retire and you'll be doing the same thing. And I realized that
Yeah.
certificate of practical engineering can only take me so far. You know, I was really on good money, stability, all of the good things. And then I realized that's it. That's as good as it's gonna get. So
Okay.
I quit that Navy job and done another 2 years of uni and actually become an engineer. So I'm Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering. And at that period of time in the Navy, I always had passion for motorbikes. So I got a motorbike because I was on good money. And so in the Navy, I had the motorbike. And then when I was 2 years at uni, the last 2 years of uni, I was studying and looking outside the window at the motorbike saying, I'm going to find a way to ride you. I'm going to find the time. Because it's so busy at uni.
Yeah.
And then when I finished uni, I said, I'm going to go somewhere that you can ride every day, all day, and not finish.
Okay. Interesting.
Australia was big enough, long enough roads.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so I went with a friend, and we came to Australia. I just finished uni, and he just about to start. So we had about 3 months to travel. Well, he had 3 months, and I had unlimited time. So we came to Australia, bought 2 motorbikes, and started traveling around. Went all the way up from Sydney to Cape York, not to Cape York, to Cairns, and then back for the middle, Alice Springs, and back to Melbourne. And that took us 2 months. And he went back to Israel to study. And I kept going on my own towards Perth. And on my way to Perth, I was camping next to this Aussie chick, and ended up marrying her and having kids with her. And
Wow.
yeah, that's a long story. You asked me. I don't remember your question. I think you said how we got here or something. Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
I spent 14 years with her. We had two lovely girls together, and now we split about 4 years ago, and probably before we split. So all of the time when I was in Australia, I was working as an engineer. Loved the mining. I wasn't in the mining industry. I was like in a supportive industry, which is the mineral processing industry.
Yes.
And I never the one thing I didn't like in the Navy was I have to do maintenance. I have to fix up other people's mistakes. Like you have to clean up after,
Okay.
doing stuff. And when I came to Australia, I done a little bit of, I went straight to product development and product manufacturing. So it was quite cool to work on. I really enjoyed working on new products and thinking outside the box and coming with solutions that no one could think of. Not that I'm that special, just a different background than the people around me at the time. And I think I'm kind of curious enough person that I'm looking for solutions from other places. Some say I'm lazy and not, and not coming up with original ideas, but looking at other industries to find solutions.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed like the original thinking, but also why should I reinvent the wheel? You know, so finding solutions, and it became my career in Australia. You know, which was coming up with new designs, with new ideas, cross cross nurturing from like other disciplines. It was my strength to go and ask people for what they think. Like engineers usually don't do that. Well, not at least not the people I know of. So it became my secret weapons, like communication. How simple is that? And really wanting to engage with other people, wanting to share information. And I had a really good career from doing that. Even if I didn't have the mandate to do that, I've done it because I knew that's where the innovation is, that's where the progress is. So the biggest project I worked on was with Extrada Technology, when I was leading the mechanical design of the Albion process. And so that was like about 4 years project. Going from conceptual idea to actually having a plant running in Armenia somewhere. Was really cool.
Is this in Sydney?
No, that's all in Brisbane. Yeah. So when I came to Australia,
Okay.
we lived in Perth for a little bit, and then came to Brisbane. And yeah, I've been in Brisbane since 2005, so 15 years. Yeah. So what was the question?
Yeah, so you pretty much answered it and a lot more, and I like that.
Yeah.
So I want to know where did you graduate from, what degrees do you have, and where you've worked in the past few years, and you pretty much answered that. So that's really good. And is it very different doing the engineering profession here in Australia than in Israel back home?
So in Israel, I only worked like as a practical engineer in the Navy. Yeah. And when I was doing my 4th year, we actually had to do 6 months of industry experience. So I've done 6 months, and then they offered me to stay for another 6 months until I graduated. And that was in a company, a factory that did medical products in clean room environment. So I graduated that and came to Australia and got a job in the mineral processing industry, which was all about dirt.
Oh, wow.
So that was
I get that.
was a big change. Yeah, from going to, seriously, from a clean room environment when you actually have to put clothes on and cover your shoes.
Scrub and everything, yes.
Yeah, to let's walk with some mud.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the first machines I actually designed was actually a dryer for samples. So drying 20 kilograms of bauxite from 100% moisture to what was it? I think under 10% moisture, so they can actually process it.
Okay.
In 20 minutes. That was the scope.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had like so much heat going in there, and we had like a laser temperature thing that making sure the sample is not actually cooking, just stays under 90 degrees. It was like really, really cool project to work on. Yeah. I think that was the first machine I actually designed from scratch. Yeah.
So what are you doing now, Shemi?
So in 2014, I actually got a redundancy from Extrada Technology. When Glencore bought Extrada, they didn't know what to do with the technology arm, because there was like, Extrada Copper, Extrada Coal, and there was Extrada Technology. And Glencore didn't know what to do with it, and they go, you're helping all the competitors because you're selling technology. We don't want you. So they kind of cut. The company went from like 250 people to 60 in like 3 months. And because I was in product development, which doesn't make money, it's not projects, it was almost a liability. They got rid of that arm first thing. So I was in the first round of redundancies. My boss was the second one, and I think the third one was like the engineering manager. Yeah. Anyway, so that was 2014, and the first time in my life I actually had to stop and think. Well, I had to stop and think, what do I want? And it really helped that they gave me a nice, pot of gold to sit on and not stressing about getting a job. What I did, I actually went into like a survival mode and started applying for jobs and getting interviews. And I had like 4 interviews that I was like more than qualified to do, and I didn't get a job. And I started thinking, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I realized, and my wife at the time, she said that many times, like, you lost your passion. You're actually not enjoying what you're doing. And I only heard it when I was ready to hear it, So, well, I guess first lesson is like, listen to your wife. Your partner actually knows us better than what we think. Yeah. Anyway, I actually realized I don't enjoy engineering, and I probably didn't enjoy it for the prior 2 years, if I be honest with myself.
Okay.
So,
sounds like it was a defining moment.
A bit of a defining moment to actually say, okay, what do you want to do? Because obviously you don't want to do engineering. You don't have passion for it anymore. And I realized I made some mistakes in my life and in my career. And one of them was actually becoming registered as a professional engineer.
Yes.
Because I was scared that my degree from Israel is not going to be applicable in Australia, and then someone will tell me, you can't be an engineer here in this country. It's like, because that was part of my identity to be an engineer. Yeah. And I couldn't just bear the thought that someone would tell me, no, you have to go back to school. Because I actually hated it. I hated uni. Hated actually studying engineering. And I'm telling you that now because that's in hindsight, I remember. Yeah, it's so easy to see the breadcrumbs in hindsight. I remember that third year we had like a practical project to do. It was like a quarter of a point towards your grade. And you had to design like, I don't know, a gearbox or something. I was so bored with it. I actually told the lecturer that my young brother destroyed the computer the night before and I couldn't submit it. And he goes, that's okay. I'll give you a 70%. It's only a quarter of a point.
Oh, okay.
So in hindsight, I was really not interested in mechanical engineering. You get that? That makes sense. Yeah. So back to having this pot of gold in the bank and time, and actually the awareness that I don't want to be an engineer and awareness of all the mistakes I've done, I started mentoring engineers on don't do my mistakes.
Okay.
And it was going really well. I had a partner at the time, like in this company, Experience Work, which was, his name is Steve Padney, Dr. Steve Padney. He was actually my boss in Extrada. Anyway, when I worked with engineers, they came to me with weird problems like, I'm really stressed about, my wife, she's sick, and I stress about my kid, is in, is year 12 and he's showing signs of depression. I was going, what do you want from me? Let's talk about you becoming a registered engineer. Yeah. And it happened a few times. I'm a slow learner, and I see a few dots on the graph, and I go, okay, there must be a trend there. So I start looking for.
I'll connect them.
Yeah, I'll connect them. Yeah. And I start looking for answers, and I'm, by magic or really smart marketing, I got to meet the great people from the Coaching Institute in Melbourne. And I sign up to become a coach, and because they actually have they have the human behavior models that I can help my clients with, and that in that foundation course, that's when we met.
That's
So
where we met. Yes,
yeah,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's how I kind of become a mentor slash coach for engineers. Just taking the passion
Yeah.
for really the passion for people that I have, to actually help them to have a fulfilled career, because I didn't have one as an engineer, you know, to help them to have a
Mm.
fulfilled career. And if it means not to be an engineer, that's actually okay. Because I can tell you, the day I actually said to myself, you don't want to be an engineer anymore. Like in my inner voice, I said that to myself and I go, whoa, no way. What just happened? And
Yeah. Yeah.
then actually make peace with that internally, and then actually say it out to someone else, like, I don't want to be an engineer anymore. That
Mm.
is a long, difficult process to make peace with actually with who you are. What's your real purpose?
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. That is that's possibly one of the biggest realities that I had to face, that
Mm.
I chose to face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you went away from engineering also. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
I,
yeah, well, that day when I decided that engineering is not for me,
mm,
it was one of the biggest, like, okay, how do I process this, and how do I, go about
mm,
applying this in life, and actually getting myself to have the courage enough to tell my parents, or to
yeah,
tell my community, or to tell my daughters, or to tell anyone. Yeah.
that's it.
But well done, good
Yeah.
on you
Oh,
for making the decision.
and people just like you, I help now. It's like I I talk to them in language that is not engineering. It's like about I'm talking in leadership terms, because
Yeah.
leadership is like the gateway out of being a technical person and more of a people person, So when I approach people, I talk about leadership, and people who resonate with that, I know there's a little seed there that's saying maybe I'm not supposed to be an engineer, you know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm not saying that seed is right or wrong. I actually have no judgment around it, but I know this person is actually in internal conflict, and I help them. And whatever the outcome is, I'm happy with it because they actually have awareness and the outcome um, they want. Whatever the outcome it is, I don't care as long as I help them to verbalize their concerns and their internal conflict
Yeah.
is life changing. And what a beautiful gift is for them to actually. I'm coming with my hindsight and going, I'm suspicious. I have a suspicion that you have this conflict. I'm not saying those words, but I communicate that
Yeah.
message. And some people resonate with it, and some people don't, and it's okay. Mm.
And if I come to you, Shemi, and tell you, I want to advance in my career as an engineer because I love engineering and engineering is for me, what would you do to advise me best?
Mm.
It actually, let's talk about if I am still in the start of my career. So
Yeah.
if I was at the start of my career as an engineer and I love engineering and I want to stay as an engineer, and I really want to advance in my career, what would you advise me?
Oh, it's such an awesome question. Because the reason is a good
Thank
question
you.
is I actually have a group. It's called Professional Engineers Roundtable. That's a LinkedIn group, and I
Okay.
a lot of young people ask to join the group, and they write me. I'm not sure. I'm just beginning of my journey as an engineer. Some of them are students, and they go, "Oh, I'm not sure if it's the right group for me." And I say, absolutely. Because being a professional, it's a mindset. It's actually the mindset of excellence and growth and learning and humility, and all of those things like engineers are really strong in being an authority figure. It's like, you know, I know everything about handrails, just ask me, you know, or I know everything about pumps, or I know everything about, you know, whatever. But actually, the more you know something about it, the more you know you don't know.
Oh, yes.
So humility and removing ego from the conversation is one of the things I help people to establish. Because if we're talking for a second about experienced engineers, it's actually feels safe, secure to be an authority figure, but no one can challenge you. When I say open up yourself for criticism, feedback, and a challenge, you know, and those things will come from the young engineers that, you know, just joining the workforce or just graduated, and they come with the humility. They come with the I don't know, I need to ask attitude. That makes sense. Yeah. And they especially the millennials, you know, they will not settle for what we in our mid to late. I'm late 40s. You probably, you know, mid 20s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. So people in my generation, they, you know, we just made peace with whatever life brought us. The young engineers or the young people, I sound really old now, but the millennials, they go, no, that's not good enough. I actually want to be heard. I want to actually contribute, not just do as I told. I love that attitude with them. You know, I love that. You know, when students come to me and say, "Can I join the group?" I say, "Absolutely." You know, this is like, if you have the mindset of a leader, which is, you know, all the things we talked about before, we should harness it from day one. If I could work with you 2 or 3 years ago when you're still at high school, I would, you know, harness those qualities, those attitudes of a leader. It's so powerful, you know. And if that leader wants
Amazing.
to be a technical leader, back to your question,
Yes.
um, then by all means be a technical leader. But again, bring the humility, bring um, the lack of ego, so you can actually extend your knowledge by saying I don't know, you know, or be willing to teach others. You know, don't be a hoarder of knowledge. Share the knowledge. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does make sense. So, does it make any difference if I come to you as a millennial or I come to you later on in life, like in my 30s or 40s? Does it matter?
So there's
It
actually
doesn't matter.
no. It's funny. I have quite a few older engineers, let's call it, in the 60s and even 70s in the group, and um, and I really love having those people there because they actually have, you know, enormous amount of experience and knowledge, but they actually join it, and I discovered it lately that they actually join it because something is missing for them. They actually come to learn rather than to give, which is fun. You know, if you know your gaps and you go, okay, I need to learn about how to talk to people in a way that they listen. It's, you know, it's so powerful. It's actually coming from humility, you know. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and I asked him, "What's your special power?" And he said, "Oh, experience and knowledge." I said, "No, come on, mate, dig deeper. Everyone has knowledge and experience. You know, you can always find someone with more knowledge or more experience. What you bring to the job that no one else, you know, that you can't bottle, no one else can have it, that you can't teach other people."
Yes.
And it's a question that it's really hard to ask ourselves because it actually requires, you know, think about ourselves. And engineers don't like to. We are humble, you know. We don't want to put ourselves first. We put other people first. But actually think what I bring, other than book smart. What do I bring to the game, to the table, to my job?
Mm.
Yeah, so it's really powerful to. So yeah, that guy actually couldn't answer me. He was like completely never thought about it. So he's just gonna sit on it and think for a while. But I done that exercise with another engineer, and he came up with things that are like amazing. It's like he said, um, he said I'm a hard worker. So come on, mate, everyone is hard worker. Or I'm a team player. Well, everyone says they're a team player. And he came up with with these things that like I have no problem to ask for help. It's like this is really good. It's really
That's good. That's a good one.
that's
Yes.
that's a really good one. It's like it's a secret power.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the young engineers and the older engineers, they kind of get the same value out of that group, which is really taking your. See, this group is about leadership, self-leadership and leadership of others. And I can't do a professional engineers roundtable about the technical side because there's like I don't know much
Thousands,
about technical. Yeah,
millions. Yeah.
yeah. I can't um, facilitate technical conversation, but I can facilitate the leadership conversation. Not that I'm a great leader, but am willing to give it a go. It's actually giving it a go. It's something that engineers are really scared of. You know, it is because we've been trained not to make mistakes. Like think about if you build a machine or you build a house or you build a bridge, you don't want the thing to fall apart. So it's people's lives. So that need for safety and um, and whatever you want to call it, like not making mistakes. I really kind of need to shake it out of the people in the group because, like, I ask people, you have really good experience. Can I do an interview so other people would learn about it? And he goes, oh, let me think about it. I need to arrange a few things.
Yes.
It's like, what do you need to arrange? So that the fear of making mistakes, um, like when I started every morning, I'm doing a morning huddle on the group. I'm just for 10 minutes, talk about something that I think brings value. And to begin with, it was like everything had to be set up properly. And 2 months later, it's like, just press record and I record something.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage, Shemi.
Well, it's, what is outside your comfort zone, you actually bring it into your comfort zone and it becomes part of something you're comfortable with. So
Yeah,
I
true.
was really scared of making mistakes on camera, but now I'm gonna go, whatever, whatever. So yeah, so I'm trying to help the engineers to kind of be more present because when you need to be prepared, but you don't need to be 100% prepared. You can be 80% prepared. You can be, sometimes I'm 10% prepared, I don't know. I just being myself and I'm helping to the best of my ability, And I think it's one of the things we learn as coaches, like you can never be prepared for all situations.
That's right.
But you can bring yourself, you can bring your listening skills, you can bring your presence. And sometimes that's what people need, So, and if you can help them with whatever problem they bring, it's okay. You actually serve them by just listening.
I like this. So can you please tell me more about what kind of problems are you solving in this group?
So I think we talked about like the bigger picture of like that people have the internal conflict about what they're doing with their life, but chunking it down to like every day. So a lot of people are they're between jobs and they're looking for a job. So I kind of help them with actually finding their 2 feet. For example, one of the things I teach them is find the companies that you kind of feel connected with, even through their the Seek ad. You can go, I like this company. I don't know why. You know, there's something about the style or the graphics or the color of the ads. I don't know, the brand. You go, something about them I just sits really well with me. I actually learned it from one of my clients that I helped him, and he said that it's like some of we talked about cover letters, and he said some of the cover letters I just put so much effort into. And I went, why? He said, I don't know, just something about this company that I actually want to have really, really, really good cover letter. So what it is, it's actually what I'm teaching people in the group is this is actually, there's some kind of a values alignment with that company. So that company, there's something in that company that you can't put your finger on, but there's alignment there between you and the company. You like it?
I like that. Yes, I love that. Yeah, yeah. Wow.
So we have
something in the company aligns. It's like when I met you. Something about you aligns with me, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I spoke to you, I found that you have a very similar background, and you know, something about you just matches where energetically I am at.
That's
and
it.
Exactly. That is called values. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah. So this is values alignment. We have some kind of values alignment, and for us from like similar backgrounds and similar language. Sometimes I can
Yes, we do. Huh?
Language.
We mark up in Arabic. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we have values alignment to an extent, and you looking. So the way I help my clients that look for a job is actually look for those companies, actually identify them and hunt them, like go to the HR people and talk to them and say, I want to work in this company. Tell me what do I need to do. Actually, not just apply for like 1,000 jobs on Seek, but actually find the ones that will make you happy rather than give you a paycheck.
Yes.
So, and guess what? I worked for many years for a paycheck. I managed to find some kind of a values alignment with the company, but it's a bit sad that I really did it for the money. Like today I wouldn't do it ever again. Like some of my friends, they're saying, why you start a business? It's so hard. Just get a job. You can make so much money as an engineer. And I say, you can't pay me enough to work as a hands-on engineer because it's not aligned with my values anymore. It's just it's not about my values, but it's not something I want to do. I actually want to work with people, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So this is just one big example of how I help, completely change the thinking of people around finding a job. Another thing is I teach them in a very cool and subtle way when they go to a job interview to actually interview the interviewers, to interview the company. So,
I like that.
So we kind of do, in the interview, my clients doing values elicitation to the panel, and they asking about, like, for example, oh, do you know this software? And if the person knows, he says, of course I know this thing. It's like, I'm a professional. What do you think? If the answer is no, they say, I don't know it, but I'm a professional. I can learn it in like a couple of weeks. That's not a problem. And we can navigate the conversation to my clients actually asking the panel about the values of the companies, like how do you guys serve your clients, or things like that. That really So the client asks the panel, what makes them to get up in the morning, because if the answer is, the panel say we come to collect a paycheck, or we're here to serve our clients, there's a different answer, Yeah. So, and obviously it's like going to their website and looking for those values first so you can prepare yourself, go, oh, okay, I'm actually in line with those values or not. Yeah. Yeah, so that's one way to help people who are looking for a job. The other thing is people who are looking for go from technical. So the transition. I have one guy that I wanna support him in that process of becoming a leader, moving from a technical role to a leadership role within the technical group. So, and that's really hard for engineers to actually let go of the details, because we learn to master the details, and no one teaches
Yes, we do.
us how to deal with people. So when we get a leadership role, we go back to the details because that's where we're comfortable, but then we show very little trust in our team. We have to let go of the detail and instead of looking after the details of the work, looking after the people who are looking after the details of the work. And that's what the transition from a technical capacity to a leadership capacity, that's what I help people also.
Wow.
I teach them how to trust other people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, it is some of the things that engineers, because as engineer, we are very much like into systems and processes and logic thinking. Yeah. So when something that is not very much aligned with that, we get lost.
Yeah.
We don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And something like how to trust people is a very deep and something that you can't really map out on a piece of paper. So this is something that is very challenging, like as an engineer, to teach someone who is in their heads.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
And how do you do that? Exactly. Exactly. You've got a beautiful job.
So the way I do it is actually teach them first how to trust themselves. So the leadership of self comes before the leadership of others. You have to learn to trust and love yourself.
Oh no, you said the L word.
L word. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, people actually, I'm still in the process, and like when my mentors told me, "You're in the search for self-love," they what? What are you talking about? Just give me the manual. I'm gonna do that. And no, this is it's a self-love journey. And to be able to trust others, we have to trust ourselves.
Definitely.
And to trust ourselves, we have to love ourselves. So
that's so true. Yeah,
and that's kind of the essence of what this group is about, and the essence of my work is actually help people. Sorry about the noise. And
that's
help,
okay.
help people to be comfortable when they don't know everything. Be comfortable that they have it. They trust themselves that they can handle things they don't know everything about.
Yes.
Can you see how that in conflict with?
Tell me, Shemi, about the group.
Yeah.
So if you can tell me something about the group, what are the conditions for anyone to join?
So you have to be a Bachelor of Engineering or studying towards that, or being associated with the engineering profession for many years. So I think I have like a handful of people that they are been in the engineering industry for many years, but they're not bachelors of engineering, but they have vast amount of experience and knowledge and things we want to tap into, in the group. So when the conversation goes into how do you sustain your knowledge for, over so many years, those people that, just think, 50 years ago, not everyone, uni wasn't for everyone. Not many people can afford it or do it. And I know when I graduated my practical engineering certificate, so many people told me, "Oh, that's plenty for life. You don't need any more than that." because there was a lot of, company directors and factory managers that were only practical engineer. They're not actually an engineer. But times are changing. Many other people, go to uni and yeah. So anyway, the point is, we have a few people that are not Bachelor of Engineering, but they associate with the engineering profession. And I tell you two things. Well, one thing that everyone have to agree before they join the team is they have to be behind the mission of the group, which is you have to want to promote the engineering profession. And there's another one. How can I forget that? And the other one was, it's terrible, I know.
That's all right. No, it's not terrible. It's okay.
Yeah, so that one is actually promoting the registration of people, of engineers, as like professional accountants or professional lawyers. So promoting the engineering profession, and that comes from a leadership point of view. And the other one is encourage people to register as a professional. And it's really like, this is stage one. First thing you have to get your license. Before you drive a race car, you have to get a license. You need to drive your Toyota.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you get your license, when you become registered, lawyer, nurse, doctor, accountant, this is the start of your career. It's not the end of it. So yeah, so when you get your car license, it's like the beginning of your journey as a driver. You have the minimum skill. You didn't nail driving. You just got the minimum skills to actually drive on the road. Right?
Yes, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the same. That's the people in the group and myself encourage or believe in, which is becoming registered is a prerequisite to become a professional.
Okay.
And when you are a professional, you can be, like we talked about, you can be a technical professional, or you can be a leadership or technical-oriented leader or people-oriented leader. But because when you're a professional, you are a leader. People look up to you, people listen to you. Even, people observe, people watch you without you even knowing. So we have to conduct ourselves in a way that as if, there's a camera watching us. It's like Big Brother. Everyone is watching us all the time.
Yes.
So that is actually a prerequisite to join the group. You have to agree with those things, You have to be behind the mission of the group and the vision of the group.
Yeah.
That's another.
And what happens? How do you nurture the group?
Sorry?
So how do you nurture the group? What do you do for the group?
Sorry, ask again.
How do you nurture the group? How do you look after the group?
Okay.
What do you do?
Yeah. So
something about coming up every day.
Yeah. So there's like a morning huddle. I do 10-minute video every morning. Usually in the morning. Sometimes it's later in the day. I still call it morning huddle because, anyway.
Yeah.
I'll get better at doing it in the morning. The other thing is I do interviews with experienced engineers. So actually learning from other people. The other thing I do is I do actually coaching and mentoring sessions on the group. So I actually do, conversation like this when I actually help someone. And if it's not too personal and if it's not too sensitive for that person, we actually put it on the group so other people can learn from that experience.
That's very good.
What else? I have many other plans to do with the group, but the main thing I'm reaching out to the members now because we're hitting, I think it's about 350 people, 331 people this morning. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so,
congratulations!
Thank you.
Good on you.
So
good on you.
So I really in the process of engaging with the people that are most engaged in the group and ask them, what's your challenges and how can I serve? And according to their answer, I'll come up with content that I think is good or valuable and beneficial for the group, for those people that really, I can't help you if you're quiet on the group. I can only help you if you speak up.
Of course, yeah.
Help is not the right word, it's more support, Help yourself, I will support you.
Yes.
So I can't support you if you're not telling me what your problem is. If you're not telling me what your problem is, what I think is your problem, and then it might hit or miss, So that's why I'm talking to these people now to find out what's on their mind, and serve them as best as I can. And I can see people starting to engage within themselves in the community, which is, they don't need to talk for me. They can just talk to one another.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of a community. Heidi, I really call it, it's our inner circle. Like, there's not too many people. Just think, we talked about the people that have been attracted to this group. So there's like a seed of, conflict in their mind. There's something about the group that really they like, and they don't know why. That's the values alignment.
Ah, yes.
And people that actually join the group, they agree to the vision and the mission, and they have that values alignment that I was going somewhere with that. Can't remember.
That's okay. All good.
That it's inner circle. So it's from thousands of engineers out there, and I actually have engineers from all over the world. But the people that actually join, whoever joins, actually they have very similar mindset. So that's why I call them the inner circle. They're my inner circle. They're people who actually think just like me. At least the active ones. I don't know if the silent ones are. Which I'm actually thinking to culling it, because if you're not active for like more than 4 weeks, I'm gonna cut you off. Because I want people. I don't want the quantity. I want the quality of the people. If someone joined and said, "Oh yeah, I believe in this and this and this," and then they don't act on it, it means they don't believe in it really. I can tell you, I believe in living a healthy lifestyle, but then eating junk food every day. It means what comes out of my mouth and what comes into my mouth are different things.
Are different things, yes. I like that. Yeah. That is awesome, Shemi. Yeah, they must get a lot of value from you.
Yeah, I really hope so.
How long have you had this group for?
So I actually started this group in, I think, 2018, but it wasn't very active. And then in March this year, when the coronavirus hit, I need to find a way to support the profession. And that's when I started it. So I went from it was 12 members for 2 years, or I don't know, a year. And then just boom to,
wow.
When
that is awesome.
Yeah, when I become more active, then the people, they came in and want to join. So, and I do approach a few people that I think are a good match, like reading their LinkedIn page, and I think there's values alignment there. I think those people might benefit from that. So I approach them and ask to connect. So I forgot the question again.
Oh, good. You answered the question. Fantastic. So, Shemi, tell me, what is your final thoughts or advices for people wanting to connect with you, connect to the people in the group, and to connect with the actual mission and vision of that group? What is your final thoughts and advice?
If you resonate with anything we talked about, ask to join or connect with me, and ask to join the group. It will be great. When you join the group, be active. The more you're active, the more benefit you get out of it. The more you help others, the more you get out of it. And also, you know, for people who kind of not sure about it, or I'm thinking about, you know, myself working as an engineer. If I watch this interview, you know, 5, 10 years ago, and what do I need to hear to actually take action?
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure, but I think if you know, or if you have a suspicion that engineering is not your song, I actually want to validate you. That's okay. It's actually absolutely normal. Um,
Yes.
um, yeah, because I ignored that calling for so many years. You know, I actually
Mm.
suppressed it. I pushed it down, and there's nothing healthy about it. So if
Yeah.
you're out there and if you're not happy about your job, if you're whinging to everyone about your job, you know, reach out to me and we can work it out and see what's behind it. You know, it could be like a
Yeah.
little tweak and it could
Mm.
be a major tweak. I don't know, but I'm here to support you. Yeah. So that's my
That's
final
right.
thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shemi. It's been a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to see more growth
Mm.
and more beautiful things happen in the group. And all the best wishes for you and for everyone there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to actually do this interview. And you know,
Thank you.
I just can I add one more thing quickly?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. So I think the reason I ask you to do this interview is because you actually, well, first thing I really enjoy your company, but also
Thank you.
you actually have an engineering background and you moved away from it. And I was going,
Yes.
you would resonate with you actually be engaged in the conversation, you're not like a you're not a generic thought leader. You actually you have your own, you know, background and your own followers that, you know, follow your magic powers. But you have that engineering seed in you. You know, it's kind of, some say scar.
No, it is magic powers, and I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to say really thank you for taking the time and to do that.
Thank you, Shannon.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Enjoy your day.